Hello.
Alright guys, you guys want to check out my cool research I'm doing?
Yeah.
That's all my friends. So, over here I'm looking at the different relations between the plants and animals. There's a very special one here. And there is a red flower fly over there, guys. You guys see it? There's a little invertebrate fly in the middle. Can you guys see it? The little animal that's living right in the middle of the red flower.
Oh yeah.
That little invertebrate is called an epispike. And that epispike is actually what we're doing research on. We're trying to see what exactly is the connection between the flower. It might be a pollinator or it might be a bug zapper, kind of like her dragonflies back on Earth, but we're still in the process. So in order to learn more about them, we're trying to review the ecosystem relations back on Earth. Do you guys happen to recognize this ecosystem over here?
Sure.
Any ideas? Any guesses?
Like a beach in the front?
Yeah, so this here is called the Florida scrub, so good guess because it's very similar. Florida has beaches. So what are the animals you recognize over here?
So the tortoise.
That's tortoise, yeah, and tortoises actually make very deep holes. And this actually here is our Gopher Tortoise, which I'm not sure if you guys knew, but they're actually an endangered animal back in Florida.
Oh.
So a cool little fun fact is that their burrows are very important because other animals get to live in them. And one of those animals happens to be this one over here. Do you guys recognize who this is?
Snake.
Yeah, so this is our indigo snake. So they actually take refuge in this burrow over here and actually protects them against any fires because I'm sure you guys remember Florida is very hot. There's fires, so
similar climate to Pandora.
Alright, yeah. I like the connection you saw there. Yeah.
They said prepare for Central Florida weather.
Yeah. So over here we have another cool animal. Tends to hang around garbage cans. Who do you think this might be?
Vulture? Crow?
Yeah, so this is the black vulture.
Okay.
So he likes to hang around over here in the sky because he actually doesn't have a very good sense of smell. But there's another vulture that has a very good sense of smell. Who do you think it might be?
Yeah,
so the turkey vulture, my friends. Yeah, so turkey vultures have a very good sense of smell, so they kind of figure out where the carrion is, where the food is first.
Yeah.
So then they're flying up in the air, the black vultures, and they just follow him around to see where the food's located.
Right.
It's a really cool relationship called symbiosis. Right? And over here we actually have this plant that's actually very similar to the plant here we have in Pandora, because the plant that we have here, his roots are also in the air. Any guesses of what this plant might be?
I'm not good with plants.
Oh, that's okay. So over here, this is our orchid. And since his roots are in the air, where do you think he's going to hang around in?
In the air? The tree?
Yeah, good job, my friend. So the orchid.
I'm bad with plants.
Oh no, no, that's totally fine. That's why we're here, so we can all learn together.
We learned when I reviewed flowers. I was amazed they come with little water vials. Like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So over here we have the oak tree, and they basically actually don't mind having the orchids because they don't really get nutrients from the tree. They actually get the nutrients from the air, which is why the roots are just dangling in the air. Pretty neat, right? And over here we have our last fellow friend, and who do you think this is over here? Turns into a butterfly.
Caterpillar.
Yeah, this is our Untitled caterpillar. So he is just gonna hang around over here and these plants, which are called a kunti plant. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. So the caterpillar here, he actually is gonna eat the plant, and then his poop is actually fertilizer for that plant. So they actually benefit from each other. So it's called a mutualism relation that they have. So my challenge for you is when you go back to Earth, I want you to visit maybe a national park, and you're going to notice that there are different types of relations. It might be these, it might be others, and you are going to be amazed at all the cool things you might have not noticed before. You're going to learn a lot, my friends. But for now, you have earned your badge here in Pandora. Is this your first badge?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
First Pandoran badge.
Ah, nice. Even better.
Many years ago. This is the best of it.
That's fine. I'll give you guys your ecology badge, which is what you learned over here. And when you guys go back home, maybe you can even share with your friends all the cool things you learned here in Pandora. And there's even a map in the beginning that's going to show you where there is another badge you can earn here in Pandora, and that is the Botany badge. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. We even got pencils here, so you can write down
Thank
any
you.
cool fun facts you learn about today. Yeah,
Thank
have
you so
fun.
much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
What is botany?
Study of plants?
Exactly right. So it's one of the oldest sciences out there. It's over 12,000 years old. But my job is to teach you a little bit about plant life on Pandora
Okay.
in comparison to plant life on Earth. So in your book, it talks about that plant over there. Do you know what it's called?
The Flasca reclinata.
Exactly right. So this is actually one of the most endangered plants on Pandora. So something cool that the Navi did is if you go over there, they've actually opened it. So if you'd like to, would you like to go and touch the plant and see what happens?
We've done it.
Nice. So what happens?
It starts to mist.
That's exactly right. So this is a plant that, based off touch, is shooting out its spores. This is a form of reproduction that you can see in plants. However, some things that you might see on Earth. So which one of these do you think would react based off touch?
The piranha plant?
Yeah, so similar, but this is going to be called the Venus flytrap. Exactly right. So we talk about adaptations plant have touch. They're shooting out spores. And you actually see baby Flasca over there. But this is a plant, so what happens when something touches it? What adaptation does it have?
Won't it trap like insects?
Yeah, the Venus flytrap. So something that you can notice, it's the color red on the inside. Bugs are attracted to the color red. So what will happen is flies or other things get inside. You have these fine finger-like structures or hair-like structures that can sense it, and it'll shut it and it'll digest it. So you have an adaptation for reproduction, an adaptation for food. Another one as well you might see on Earth. What plant is this?
Cactus?
Exactly right. So what cool adaptations does a cactus have? What happens when you touch it? Ow!
Yeah.
So that has those spikes, right, to defend itself. So something that's cool for them, it keeps animals from taking water for them, keeps animals from eating it, burrowing in it. Something cool as well, have you ever felt like the skin of a cactus? It's very, very waxy. Another way to keep water in. And something as simple as this flower, do you know what that's called? Not Donald, but
Daisy.
exactly right. So why would a daisy want to look like this?
We're really bad at plants.
No, I trust me, I've not been studying plants for over 12,000 years. I can tell you that. This is all new to me. So just as I am exploring plant life on Pandora, I'm also exploring it back on Earth. But a daisy, so it looks pretty to us, right? It looks like, oh, it's a nice flower. But it also, what is it trying to look pretty for instead? What hangs out in your flowers?
The bees?
The bees, the butterflies, the pollinators. The cool fact as well, so even some bees can see an infrared light. Not all, but some. And what this will actually look like is a bunch of arrows pointing to the center. So there are plants all over that had adaptations. Have you guys always lived in Florida back on Earth?
No, I'm originally from New York.
Nice, so you might have seen these before. So when I was a kid, these were one of my favorite things to play with. So have you seen these seeds before? Yeah, the little helicopter ones. So an adaptation they have, so exactly. They have the seeds in there.
Yeah.
And instead of shooting their spores, they have to wait for a strong gust of wind to reproduce the red maple. But I know you're starting to get into botany. Trust me, I'm not a botanist either. But do you live in Pandora?
No.
No, neither do I. You might notice I don't work for ACE. I don't have an ACE name tag. We're here exploring like you. Pandora, you can see the sign over there. It's really similar to a state park you might see on Earth.
Yeah.
But since you live on Earth, my challenge for you, start studying plants. Try and find a plant near your house. Do you have plants near your house?
Yeah.
Some of them look really
An
boring,
apartment.
right? Exactly. So there's even some plants, one of my favorites. So have you seen the Monarch Butterfly before? Yeah. So did you know Monarch Butterflies are poisonous?
No.
Yeah, so it's a cool adaptation they have. So venom is if something stings you or bites you, so bees are venomous. Whereas poison's if you eat it or touch it. But the only reason the monarch butterfly is poisonous is because it only likes a certain type of flower called the milkweed. This is a flower that secretes toxins to defend itself, whereas a cactus has this prickle. So something, if you notice a plant that's all by itself, it might look boring, but it might have a really cool adaptation. So start studying plant life on Earth, and something that's cool that you can do, as you can see, Pandora is full of plants. So take observations on plants you see here. Definitely travel to Pandora at night. I can tell you a lot of these plants have reactions that will happen as well, similar to the Flasca reclinata. But do you have any questions for me about botany, Pandora plant life, Earth plant life? Something even as simple as a pine cone. So, pine cones. Why do they have them? Why does a pine tree have pine cones?
I have no idea.
I know, so this is something I just learned, and it was one of the coolest things I had learned. They have the seeds on the inside. So this is actually like a cactus defending itself. This is how it defends its own seeds. So something that's cool actually back on Earth in Florida, some pine cones only will open based off heat or fires even to defend their seeds. And some open when the time is right. So something as simple as a pine cone you probably see around Christmas, or they smell like cinnamon. Before they became something to decorate with, they had a really cool job to defend themselves. So explore plant life. Maybe go to state parks in Florida. You visit state parks on Pandora. Visit state parks in New York or Florida. Explore plant life. But have a lot of rest of your day. AWA be with you. Have fun in Pandora, okay?